Hey guys, it's Scott. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Pennsylvania Derby field this Saturday at Parks, and we're going to go over the three horses I like. But before we get into that, we're going to go down the field. Zandon winning the Bluegrass in for Chad Brown. You got Skippy Longstock and Western Derby winner for Sappy Jones Jr. You got Haskell winner and Travers runner-up Cyberknife. You got We the People who won the Peter Pan early in the year, and you got Tawny Point winner of the Ohio Derby, and you got Table winner of the Santa Anita Derby, and then had that runner-up Haskell finish. And you got Fountain of Simplification and Florida Derby winner White Barrio. So you drew a pretty good field of horses, and a lot of these horses, you recognize from the Derby trails. I just, mentioned the races that they won, and I think one of these winners that race on the Derby trail is going to come back and win the race because that former seemed to have held up really strong. And I think that, I kind of question whenever Rich Strike won the Kentucky Derby and just how strong this year's Derby field was. But the more I look back, I think that was just a fluke, and I think these Derby horses are all really good this year. And get into the three horses that I like, and the first one's going to be Taba, who's trained by, Bob Baffert, and Taba's won this race three times, with Byron in 14, with West Coast in 18, and McKenzie in 19. So Baffert knows how to send a horse out here and get the job done. They could say, and he sent Abel Tasman up for a runner-up finish, a few years ago. So when it comes to Taba, I fully believe this horse is going to fire a very good effort in the race. He's still very light in the race. This will be only his fifth lifetime start. He was a Santa Anita Derby winner, as I mentioned before, and in the Haskell, we got a second place finish. But in that race, he took the outside trip where Cyberknife, was the one coming up the rail getting the good trip. So you could have made it that Taba should have won that race. And I think this time Taba's going to get the better trip of the two. I think more pace will sign off with this race. And I just think that, Taylor's been training really good and knows how to point to this race. And I just think he's the most likely winner. And if this stays anywhere close to that morning line of 5-2, you're going to get really good odds on Tabas. So Tabas going to be my number one pick for this race. And that's going to be number two, and that's Simplification. And I think this horse, is a little overlooked because he, started off the year good, won the Fountain of Youth. Then got third Derby, was chasing a hot pace that day. Ran a very good fourth in the Kentucky Derby. And then he had that bleeding issue in the Preakness where he got sixth. And then he came back, all the way from May to August, had a long layoff. Ran in the West Virginia Derby, and he got third in that race. And okay, so that was just his first race off of a layoff. And, this will be the one that he's, ready to fire. So he's had more workouts, since then. So I think you're going to see a better Simplification for this race. And that's going to be number three, and that's going to be Skippy Longstocking. And Skippy Longstocking still, he's raced a lot, but he's also raced against very good competition. And I think, in the West Virginia Derby, he got to have a break from, the hard competition. And he was able to, put away the field, caught Simplification off the layoff. So I fully think that Skippy Longstock, maybe that give him the confidence to take a step forward. And I like him better than the trend that his stablemate White Barrio is going. So I'm going to go with Skippy Longstock at a price. You see 10-1 on the morning line. And if it stays, drifts up to maybe 15, 20-1, could certainly be an intriguing bet to, put this horse there in your exotics. As he's, just been very solid all year long. And that's the three horses I'm going to be, going with. And thanks, guys, for watching.